Hi, everybody. Hope everyone is well. Just let me know if you can see and hear me okay. Good afternoon, Jay, joining us on YouTube. If you're watching via YouTube, can you let us know if you can see and hear me okay? If you're watching via one of the Facebook groups, if you could let us know that you can see and hear me okay. It's just me today. Unfortunately, I had to reschedule our AI expert guest because they were not very well. So he's going to be joining us in a couple of weeks. So it's just going to be me, but I thought it was quite apt because I wanted to do a session on this in the next couple of weeks anyway. So just going to be bringing it forward a little bit. So Jeff said, all good on YouTube. Appreciate the shout out. Thank you, Jeff. Much appreciated. Hello. Oh, I need to go into my comments to see who's there. Ben says, all good on Facebook. Great. Thanks for that. Thanks for letting me know. How is everyone? Let me know. You guys are going to have to talk to me considering it's only me today. So I'm going to need some interaction from you guys today, which I know you always normally give me. So I'm not being fussy or picky or anything like that at all. But it's going to be good because I want to hear about your thoughts on certain things. Oh, I've gone into the wrong stream. Hang on a sec. Where is the live? Where has it gone? Doesn't refresh. My phone was playing up a minute ago, actually. It's so weird because I have to look at about 3 different things in order to get the details up. Whoever has said hello has said it on another group, which I'm currently not in. So hello to you. Hi, David. By the way, I know I still need to reply to your message. I'm straight away after having finishing this, I am going to go and do an inbox purge, but in a good way, and go through everything I need to do in my inbox. You know, with it being Easter last week, obviously we were off with the kids, so we spend, you know, that's where our priority goes over the time when the kids are off. So yeah, it's one of those things. So if you send me a message in that time and it doesn't get picked up within a certain period of time, then it goes into the abyss that is my inbox, and it may never survive, to be perfectly honest. So I'm going to have a good old purge of that after this session. I've put it in my calendar. I've set the time aside to go through all of the messages that everyone sent me. So if you have sent me one and I haven't replied, hopefully I'll find it in the abyss this afternoon and I will send it through. So thanks for your patience. But guys, you were all on steroids as well in the last week. My inbox has almost died the death of 1,000 cuts. Like literally everybody wanted answers to stuff last week. So, but it seems to have calmed down a little bit now. So hopefully everyone's back on track and everyone's okay. So how are sales, guys? Last time we spoke, there was, you know, we were coming out of the back end of the Easter holidays. There was the kind of the dip after Easter sales, especially if you were involved in, you know, some seasonal sales of those Easter eggs and things like that. So let me know how it's going. Has it picked back up again? Certainly has from our point of view, but I will say this is the first time this year that I've really noticed that there's quite a high level of refunds at the moment, which is actually normally something that we experience between January and February, because those of extended refund time over the Christmas period. But we didn't really see that this year. Whereas all of a sudden, we seem to be hit with you know, a really high level of refunds at the moment, and they're really a really strange combination of refunds. You know, 50%, you know, due to getting a lot of damaged in transit at the moment and misfulfillment promise and things like that, which is fine, obviously, because we know that we're going to get, you know, the reimbursements. But at the same time, when they're your own products as well, what can happen is it can have a negative effects on the voice of the customer, and it can just knock the trust credibility that Amazon gives the visual representation of the products. So it is annoying. And what Amazon don't take into account on voice of the customer when it comes to returns, yes, it does detail the reason for the return, but it won't or for purposes of refund, it's not like, okay, they give 1 point for, an at fault refund, like it's not a good quality product or something like that. And then a half a point if it's Amazon's fault. It doesn't work like that. Yes, if you're going to get a lot of, refunds based on product not described, they will specify that definitely, but it all kind of contributes and it all builds up. And refund rate is definitely something that Amazon look at in quite a negative light. So especially when you're going to be creating your own imageries, opportunities, it doesn't matter so much in the world of arbitrage because you can't do anything about that essentially, and there's no point worrying about something that you have no impact on or you cannot have any impact on. So that was just an interesting observation. I'd be curious to see if anyone else has got the same, or if anyone else is experiencing the same. Jay says, thankfully, after the Easter lull, sales are back on track, which is good to hear. I'd like to hear that from a few more people. We're definitely back in the green, which is good. Like I said, it's a really funny time after Easter, and it's a little bit later on this Easter this year as well. So it's one of the later Easters. And I think what happens is, I think it's just a combination of the whole country in particular being on holiday. I think a lot of people are on holiday with their kids, taking their kids. We took our kids last I think it might have been after Nevermind the Buy Box last week, I can't remember. We took our kids out just for an afternoon to a local fun fair, right? We were there 2 hours, and just over 2 hours. By the time everyone had got something to eat, by the time we bought tickets for everything and tokens for everything, it was like 80 quid, just for 2 hours. So, if you're compounding that into stuff that you're doing with your kids every day, of course, not all activities cost like 80 quid. You go to a fun fair, you're going to get fleeced. It's as simple as that. That is a classic example of supply and demand. You're in the middle of a field. So therefore, there are no other options. You have to pay those prices. So you're fully aware of that. But, kids are off for a 2-week period. And, parents may have taken time off. You may have also had a holiday, a few expensive days out, and people really, especially parents, start to worry about the impact that's going to be having on the pocket. So we do normally expect to see a big kind of drop off after that. And I would say the Easter drop off is only the same as as close to the drop off that you see after Christmas. I would say it's probably the biggest drop off after Christmas. Not close to Christmas, but comparable for the occasion and the time of the year. David says refunds are about the same for me. Happy about the more expensive but cheaper UPS fees. Yeah, I've heard about this. £28 for 10 boxes this morning. So is everyone experiencing this glitch? Is it still glitching for a lot of people? Because all the fees were supposed to be going up, but they seem to have gone down. So is that, I didn't know if it's isolated cases, or is that something that is impacting everyone? 28 quid for 10 boxes. That's ridiculous. So yeah, it'll be interesting to hear other people's thoughts on that. If it is a glitch, if it is, is it something that Amazon are going to claw back on? Yeah, Jay says cheaper UPS prices as well. So yeah, is it oh, they were 9.7 each. Okay, fair enough. So you're getting the 3 for 2. Okay, so if anyone's not aware of that, what David's talking about is if you can work out there's a bit of a, I don't know, it's not a hack, it's not a glitch, it's not a workaround, but if you can get 3 boxes under 10 kilos, which sometimes it works out better if you've got bigger but lighter stuff, then it doesn't quite work out 3 for 2 on your boxes, but it reduces the cost of the third box. So with regards to that, it's always worth considering whether or not it's better to send 2 at 15 or whether or not it's better to send 3 at under 10. So that's when the prep, gurus come in. That's when your prep guru brain comes in and works out, what's going to be the best variation to send it in. But obviously in David's case, sending 10 there, so 9, would have qualified for that in terms of getting those cheaper prices. So, maximize those margins absolutely wherever you can. So RM says, yes, it is. I'm getting free shipment for boxes weighing 12K. Is that normal? Are you a new seller? RM, let us know, because you do get free shipping for a certain period of time when you're a new seller, or you certainly used to. I don't know if it's still the case. Can't remember what the program's called. But yeah, you get free UPS shipment for a period of time. Just the one box. Yes, brand new. Yeah, okay, that's good. Hey Matthew, I know, we live in that world now. Of the just call me they or them or something. But yeah, I know, it's because the reason why I go live under Matt's name, for some reason, when my Facebook account got banned back last year for something absolutely ridiculous, and they wouldn't appeal it, it's because I took a picture of my children at laser tag, and Facebook said that I violated community rules by putting up pictures of violent conduct. Go figure, ridiculous. But anyway, so ever since I've had that ban, there's certain things that I've been restricted on doing. So like when I create these streams, if I create them under my name, I don't get the opportunity to invite as many people, whereas Matthew does. So because he's not been a naughty boy and got himself banned. So yeah, from my point of view, that's why tonight, Matthew, I am going to be Matthew Wright from now on. So yeah, that's why you'll always see Matt's gone live, even though he's not here today. Yes, RM said, brand new seller. That makes sense. Started almost a month ago. Well, welcome to the crazy world of selling on Amazon. How are you getting on, RM? I hope you're enjoying it so far, because, you're definitely in the honeymoon period. So good to see that you've taken action. You're getting your first box in. Yeah, I can't remember. You get a value. If anyone else can remember, you get I think it's a value of certain amount of shipments, or for a period of time that you will get inbound shipping costs for free. It's one of the perks of being a new seller. I can't remember if it's a certain amount of shipments or to a certain value. But yeah, if anyone knows, pop it in the comments. David says the cheapest I'd had before this week for ages was £3.70. I think what we've got to look at as well, guys, just before we move on and start talking about the business plan, which is what I wanted to go on and talk about today, is Amazon inbound shipment costs are ridiculously cheap, even with the increase. I don't know if anyone remembers, they actually struck a better deal a couple of years ago. So we actually used to pay a lot more for our inbound shipment costs, but then the cost was reduced down. And throughout everything, throughout all the issues with COVID and things like that, they've never really put up the price. I mean, because Amazon is one of the biggest, shipments or shipping not a shipping provider, because it's obviously provided through UPS, but must be one of the biggest shipment users in the country. I can't imagine that there's anyone bigger in terms of units processed that is not a courier themselves. I could be wrong. If anyone knows that's the case, let me know. So the fact is that we are getting ridiculously cheap shipments. £3.70 is about right, something like that, if you're a VAT registered seller. Whereas when I had my distribution company 5-6 years ago, we couldn't even pay that price for a single unit to send, let alone up to 14 kilos. So it's, it's still, even if it goes up a little bit, it's still ridiculously cheap. It's still amazing value to be able to send for that prices. And, it seems with this glitch at the moment that it seems even better value. So one thing I'll just make everyone aware of, if it is a glitch, if there has been undercharging that's going on, don't be surprised. And don't be all like, oh, I can't believe they've done this. If at some point Amazon do not correct it, if it is a glitch, and claw back the extra charges. So that's something that you've always got to be aware of. Ben said, strangely, 2 weeks of Easter was very consistent for us, more consistent than usual. Well, that's good. It depends on how much you're selling as well, Ben, that if you're getting your stock management, better in terms of staying in stock more on certain things as well. It's not necessarily the demand is any different. It's just you get better at running your inventory. Therefore, you get more sales. And then when you start to do that, Amazon starts to reward you more. They start putting your product in front of more eyes. It's all a very nice kind of ecosystem in the way that Amazon, will reward you for running your business in the way that they think that you should run your business, and which is quite apt because that's what we're going to be talking about today. Certainly. RM said it's a very sharp learning curve and all types of challenges from sourcing to bookkeeping. Really happy to be part of the community. Well, welcome. And, please always feel free to ask any questions in the group. There is a wealth of experience of sellers who are in the same boat as yourself, just starting out, right up to 8-figure sellers and, selling in different varieties, in different capacities across Amazon in different marketplaces. So you are definitely in good company. And remember, there's no such thing as a silly question. So always feel that you can post, and then someone, one of the mods, myself, Johnny, or Matt, the community leaders, or anyone else, it's hopefully a really friendly and welcoming group. So thank you very much for joining. But yeah, keep going. It's definitely a sharp learning curve. There's no doubt about that. But once you put everything in place and once it all starts to click, then hopefully it's something that you'll be able to continue to grow. Hi, whoever said that. I can't see the comment. Oh, it's Paulina. Hi, Paulina. Good to see you here. Ben said we had an £80 credit for UPS shipping. It lasted until it ran out as we took ages to use it by using our old DPD account instead. Yes, I couldn't remember if it was a credit or a certain amount of shipments or something like that. So definitely take advantage of it while you can, RM, because yeah, like I said, Amazon are pretty good for giving, little bonuses here and there for new sellers. And that's definitely one of the good ones because UPS costs, inbound costs, are probably the one cost that people are likely to forget, likely to forget. So it's definitely good to be able to have them to cover that cost for them. Well, that's good to see that everyone's positive. It's all good. Sales are back on the up. Everyone's rinsing the UPS glitch as well, which is good to see. But yeah, like I said, don't be surprised if Amazon do claw that money back at some point. Okay, so quick question before we get started. I already asked this question in the group yesterday, so spoiler alert for that. So who has actually got a plan when it comes to their Amazon business? Who knows, albeit loosely, doesn't have to be at 4 p.m. on the 19th of April. I'm going to be doing this, and this. But does everybody have a plan for their Amazon business? And if you do, is it kind of, is it built up of goals? Is it built up of KPIs? Is it built up of targets? How do you measure your success when selling on Amazon? Do you kind of just wing it? And be honest here, guys, because this is something, that is something I think people do overlook. Jay says he's got a plan. Man with a plan. Love it. My lovely water bottle, which I love. Goals and targets. Yeah, that's good to know. Good way to measure it. Definitely. Does anyone track year on year? Do you have benchmarks within your business that you set? And then are you measuring your performance against those benchmarks from the previous years? Again, something when I work with people on a more of a one-to-one basis, that's something that generally lacks. Always winging. Yeah, I like a bit of winging as well. Well, this is an important thing to specify at this stage, actually. With a plan does not have to be set in stone. It's a target. It's a guideline, it's a blueprint. It's something to be able to follow to keep you on track in certain areas. All of the things that I've kind of specified there anyway as well. But the important thing is knowing that you have a plan, but if opportunity arises, then you can adapt from that plan if you needed to. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. 12 months ago, I did not know that I would be, I had no plans whatsoever in the future to get involved in any type of software. Okay. Those that know me well know that I'm not particularly technically minded. I'm quite a manual person. I tend to do things, at the basic level when it comes to software and technology. So I didn't personally think that that was any part of my future until I had a conversation with Johnny, who, gave us the opportunity of partnering on what will be Stock, the inventory management software. Now, I'd already written my plans for the year. I'd written my goals, I'd written my targets. I knew what I wanted to achieve for my business. But when that opportunity came along, I was like, right, okay, I need to kind of rip this up. I need to tear this plan up. I need to throw it out the window and start again, because I realized with what I was going to be building with Matthew Wright, that this was something that could align very nicely. And, the great thing about working in partnerships as well is by bringing in an extra person, you're also bringing in an extra depth of knowledge, especially someone like Johnny, who is such a specialist in the field that he is in. And he's fantastic, and brings the software with him and everything like that. And what will the software that is B Stocks that is being produced now was the software that helped him build his business and be able to run one of the biggest grocery Amazon businesses in the UK. So it was a no-brainer, really. And there, by the way, guys, there's a difference between shiny object syndrome and looking at something objectively, and whether or not it's the right move for you. So, a few of the things aligned. 3 heads are better than 2 in terms of what we wanted to build and everything like that. So, albeit with my reservations of moving into the software world, which is generally in a world that I did not see myself, I knew that I would be working with or partners that would be able to take on the technical side of things, and I'll be able to talk about all the pretty graphics and pick the colors and that type of thing. So I knew where my contribution would lie. By the way, I do more than picking the colors and the graphics, although that's my favorite bit. But I knew where my contribution would lie and what time I would be able to, give to it. And also it meant, not saying no to other things and ending other projects and, and all this type of thing, because you can't do everything all at once. But what I'm trying to say is there will always be something, whether it's good, whether it's opportunity, whether it's bad, unforeseen circumstances, whether it's personal, whether it's work related, whether it's an experience that's happened on Amazon, there's always going to be something that could potentially knock you off course of where you want to be within your business. So having a plan is, I would say, it's more like a roadmap or a guideline to be able to keep you on track of an overall kind of bigger goal that you want for your business. So that's why I think it's really important for people to be able to build that. So David says set yearly growth target broken down into months. Awesome. uh Ben says our plan is definitely to make a plan. Good plan. Jessica says have monthly spend targets and annual sales targets, but lots of winging it too. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Definitely. Look, it becomes hard. Sorry, it becomes easier as well. The longer you've been going in business, the more data you have, the more experience you have, the more judgment that you will be able to put towards things in a more strategic way, as well, because you've already been through it or you've done it this time last year. So that comes with experience as well. So, not everyone's going to have the same level of experience or the same level of data that they can benchmark on their business. But it's something that I want everybody to start doing from now. Thinking back to our session probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, remember when I was talking about we need to start looking at this differently. This isn't a side hustle, anymore. This is something that can build into a real business, for you. And you need to get out of the side hustle mentality, because if you're trying to build a 7-figure business on a side hustle mentality, it's not going to work for you for a number of different reasons that we went into a few weeks ago. By the way, if you didn't see that session, make sure you go back and have a look at it. I think it was maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it was entitled how to build an econ plan in like 2023, something like that. So Cindy's joined us. She's popped up. She said hi Cindy. So yeah, it's one of those things. There'll always be an element of winging it as well, and I think that's the combination. It's like a good recipe, an Amazon business, that it's not just going to be too much of one thing and nothing of anything else. You need to find that balance between all of these different areas, which is something that takes time. I was speaking to a very successful seller this morning, been in the game 3 years, but actually learned some of the biggest lessons that is going to stick with this person for the rest of their business life, just in the last few months, and made some really big decisions on their business in the last few months, knowing that they're going to have to mix things up and change things and start looking at things differently, in a different way, because we've all gone through these different cycles of sales as well. Again, if you are someone that is still running your business based on what was happening 2 years ago, or is it 2 years or 3 years ago with COVID? I don't know. Where does the time go? Then, you need to change your strategies. Those strategies, they don't work anymore. It's as simple as that. Now, I'm not talking across the board and indefinitely, but I'm definitely talking about things need to adapt, without a doubt. Mark said, certainly have a plan, although taking a step backwards as my full-time staff left. So just me until I get 2 or 3 packers in place. Sometimes you need to do that, Mark, to be able to get an understanding and feel for the business. It's not what everyone wants, obviously, but it's something that, it can just, when you, how do I explain this? When you work on your business, you see everything from the above and everything looks good. But when you work in your business, then sometimes what can happen, you can look at it from not an operator's point of view, but somebody who's in the business. So it may well be a few weeks of packing or a few weeks of something that you wouldn't ordinarily do in your business might give you a different insight into maybe something that needs to change in your business, something that needs to adapt it, or something like that. It always kind of reminds me of when something like this happens, Secret Millionaire. I think is that what it's called? Secret Millionaire, where you get like the CEO or the founder of a business that, takes 2 weeks and goes back into the business at like a lower level and they do 2 weeks in the job or something like that, and they get to see everything that makes the business work. So I think overall it's quite a good thing to be able to have. I know it may not feel like that at the moment, Mark, and maybe I'm trying to make you feel a little bit better, but try and look at it from a positive point of view. But what always makes me laugh with that secret millionaire is how do they not recognize who the owner of their business is or the CEO of their business? I would know. Well, I mean, it would be me. So, yeah, or Matt. But I feel like it just kind of makes me laugh a little bit. I always think, yeah, I get it. If you're someone like, I don't know, Procter and Gamble, you may not know who the CEO is and you may not recognize them or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a bit skeptical. Who knows? But yeah, look at it like that, Mark. I think that's a good way to be able to look at it. Yeah, I agree. Cindy said it's like when Superman puts his glasses on. Definitely. It's a bit like, or do you think, oh my God, or do you think, oh my God, I'm going to like give a really big sob story and they get there like, oh, ka-ching. Oh, that's what's his face. He owns the company. I'm going to, put it on, work really hard and show them what a good asset I am to the business. I don't know. Like I said, being skeptical. I'll move on. Cindy said, just taking photos of my new bundle. And Chris said, just boxing up my first. Good, good, good. Lots of positive action. Jay said there will always be things you can't account for in plans, but as you say, the plan keeps you on track. Definitely. And what the plan does is it allows for milestones and different times within your business. So if anyone that didn't see um the post that I did yesterday, whilst it's quite generalist in terms of different points within your business, I think there's certain key times in the growth of an Amazon business where you can plateau, you can worry about making decisions, expansion, outsourcing. Do I go into different marketplaces? And I think what often happens is when people first start selling, like I said, that first kind of up to 6 figures or up to the VAT threshold is quite attainable. And I think people are surprised how quickly that can happen. But if you're selling toys or something when you're starting, you're selling them 40 quid a pop, it doesn't take long to get up to that 85,000 threshold and just beyond, because it's something that if you go through, if you start in like now and you go through a Q4 period and you get the hang of things pretty quickly, you get rolling, you got a bit of cash flow, and you're getting through some good sales, then between now and the end of Q4, it's incredibly likely that you're going to hit the VAT threshold. And I think that surprises people. I think it's something that whilst we talk about it a lot, so nobody hopefully is in a position that they get up to 85,000 and be like, oh, what happened? How did that happen? We talk about the build up towards it anyway. But it's a scary time. And what can happen is, as you're heading towards that, maybe you're getting to a turnover in a 12-month rolling period of like 60,000, and maybe subconsciously you're not ready to hit the VAT threshold. So you start taking your foot off the gas a little bit because you're not quite ready to face that point in your business, which is completely understandable. And by the way, there is no financial advice here. I'm not advising on finances or tax or anything like that whatsoever. I am not an accountant. Do not ask me. I would be like the worst accountant in the world. So but it gives you a real taste of success. It's almost a little bit cruel, I think, with this business, because like I said it tongue in cheek, you going guns blazing, and all of a sudden you start thinking about what, am I going to order my Lambo? Is it going to be bright orange or lime green? I don't know, kind of thing. But then when you hit the VAT threshold, you get a big fat dose of 20% reality of what becoming a VAT registered business can actually do to your business. And depending on what type of business that you're running at that point, could actually wipe it out in terms of the profit that you are producing. So the VAT void, that anywhere between the 85 to 150, is a really difficult place to be. And sometimes people really struggle to get out of that because you just have to go guns blazing. But at the same time, you also have to not go too crazy in terms of the sales that you're producing, because if you've not dealt with that before, it can be a very, very tough pill to swallow in terms of, all of a sudden you're operating for 6 to 8 months, not having to worry about putting money aside for that or anything like that. And then all of a sudden, boom, you get hit with a 5 grand bill that you weren't expecting. So it is a very difficult place to be. And that sucks up your cash flow. So that can potentially hold you back. So, you've got to try and push through it in the most sensible way possible. The best way is to start accounting for that earlier in your business. By the time, enjoy the first 50 grand, but by the time you get up to that, start putting aside 10% of your sales. That's just the easiest way to be able to deal with it, because by the time you've claimed the VAT back, generally you should be anywhere between 8 or 10% worse off when it comes to that. Again, depends on your business, what you're selling, all of these different types of things. And also, going into zero rated products will be good at that time. It helps people push through that period. But scary place to be. Most people that have probably come into this with the mindset of a side hustle may not have been worried about or thinking that they would be in a position where they were having to worry about VAT so soon. Because I tell you what, VAT is a lot scarier to deal with the HMRC. In my mind, they're two different bodies, essentially. HMRC are a lot more understanding than the VAT man is. That's the way I see it. So it's a scary place to be. So that we always want to make sure that you're being responsible in that period of time, and you can always make sure that you're covering that VAT bill. Then once you smash through the VAT period, hopefully you're kind of on easy street a little bit. You've got used to paying and submitting your quarterly returns. You've got back into a good period of cash flow. Hopefully you've gone through something like a Q4 and you've cleared up on some nice seasonal sales, so it puts you back in the driving seat. But what can happen here is you can fall into a little bit of a trap, because at this point, if you're doing well, your business should be producing a certain amount of net margin or a bottom line. But that might be covering the finer things in life. It depends what your overall business plan is. So if you are someone that has always worked a 9 to 5 job, and then all of a sudden you're seeing that you've got a few extra grand at the end of the month, you might think about upgrading your car or booking that amazing trip to Disney World or doing this or doing that. But at the same time, you're desperate to leave your 9 to 5. So you're stuck between a rock and a hard place of wanting to enjoy the spoils of your hard work. But at the same time, you realize that you can't continue to keep drawing across this level of profit, because it's not going to spur you on to the next level, because it doesn't quite cover what you need in order to cover your full-time wages. So again, it's a tricky period to navigate, because you want to enjoy your hard work. By the time you're pushing up to about 350,000, then you should be in a position where you're seeing hopefully a relatively nice amount of profit. And definitely you should be experiencing some of the benefits that this business gives you, the Amex, the cashback, all of these different types of things. So you're getting to that point where you're thinking, oh, okay, and you get a bit used to it, but you're stuck in that kind of cycle of cash flow, which I call it. And it gives you some hard decisions. You either cut out the do I cut out the extras and slog away at my job and give me that opportunity to be able to leave, or do I continue in what I'm doing? So again, a little bit more difficult. But once you get past that stage and going into, past the 350 to the sort of 500,000, this is when not the tough decisions, because they're all tough decisions all the way through. But this is the time when you really start thinking about an exit. If an exit is what you are considering, you started this as potentially a side hustle, you've realized it's a real business, so you've got to start taking it a little bit more. So you're kind of left with two areas. Do I now outsource everything? Okay, and build it so it becomes more of a passive income. So when I'm in a position, it's going to take me a little bit longer to get there. But when I'm in a position that I could leave my full-time employment, I can work on my business or in my business. Or do I leave my full-time employment and I then, as Mark was talking about, I start to work work in my business. It means that I can maybe pull back the prep costs, and I'm paying £5,000 in prep costs a month to a prep center. Well, actually, £5,000 is what I need to leave my job. So if I just come back in, I do my own prep because I'm going to have the time to do it, then actually there's enough financially there to be able to support me from a business. But the caveat of that is, if you're spending all your time doing your prep, who's going to be there to grow the business? Because you're not working on your business, you're working in your business. So that's a decision generally that you have to make it around that time. Or am I going to, am I someone, is my husband, wife, partner, whatever, are they going to be happy with the Del Boy Lounge situation where there's boxes everywhere? Maybe I now need to think about getting a warehouse, but electricity is at the highest cost. Rishi's just put up the the rates to an exorbitant level. Minimum wage has just gone up. At the moment, it's not a great time to be a warehouse owner. We always go through ebbs and flows with prep versus doing your own prep. And at the moment, I'd say it's definitely financially more viable to go through a prep center than it is to want to open your own warehouse at the moment. So again, another consideration. But then once you've got through that, hopefully you're at a point where you're on the trajectory of growth to seven figures, whether it's through your own hard work or whether or not you're using an outsourced team to be able to scale it for you. So it's really that's when those decisions about scale come into place. You've probably, by the time you've hit 500,000, around that sort of figure, hopefully you've got your Sean says corporation tax gone up to, yeah, absolutely. We're at this point. So by the time you've got to that, hopefully 500,000 mark within your business, I'm not saying that you've got everything right, but you've got a good grasp of everything. And hopefully the only things left to do within the business are going to be the things that are left for you to be able to scale your business. So I'm talking about putting those processes in place, making sure that you're operating at the highest possible level, making sure you're maximizing your margins as much as possible. All the stuff that you may have not had time to do when you were either working in your business or making someone else rich by working in their business. So now you've got the time to be able to really zoom in and really look at those figures, analyze things, where I need to maximize, what do I need to do more of. And generally what it comes down to is I need to do more of the good and I need to get rid of the bad. And that's only really what an owner operator can do within their business. Yes, you can have people outsource it for you, but no one's ever going to own know your business as well as you do. So that's definitely going to be a task for the owner of the business. Then once you've got everything down, once everything's rolling, once everything's working like clockwork, everything's running smoothly, then that's the time to think about diversification. That's the time to think about, should I be going into this marketplace? Should I, now that I've got everything underway with my Amazon business, should I think about eBay? All of these different types of things. Now, you don't have to get up to 1 million to be able to do it. It can be whatever turnover. I'm just using that as like a guideline, essentially. But before you think about diversification, you need to have everything what I've just said there. All of your processes need to be in place. If you were to be hit by a bus tomorrow and you were to be put in a full body cast, could your business run without you? You know, oh God, that was the most depressing thing I think I've ever said in my life. But you get the idea. I probably could have thought of something nicer to say, but hopefully you get the idea. Could your business run without you? This is the benchmark I want people to think of. Now, once you've got to that point, that's when you need to start thinking about diversification. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't add things into your business, margin mix, and do all of these different types of things. So, when I talk about diversification, I'm talking about diversification generally away from the marketplace that you are in and the platform that you are in. So, probably that you could go ahead and achieve anywhere between turnover of 500 thousand to a minimum selling on Amazon UK using the various different methods that we teach in the Hive: wholesale, unique bundles, RA, all of the areas of selling that contribute to being an Amazon reseller. So I don't want you to think I'm saying I don't want anyone starting unique bundles until you get to 1 million. No, I'm talking about the big key diversifications when you're thinking about opening like a Shopify store, because you've built a brand or you've done this or whatever. So hopefully, does that make sense so far, guys? Let me know if it does. Well, I grab a drink. So my voice, honestly, is yesterday I was it was hanging by a thread, and I can really start to feel it go. I talk so much. I call it the curse of the chatterbox. So I always lose my voice, but I'll be honest, touch wood, I haven't lost it in about 4 months, which is a lot for me. No, maybe before Christmas actually. So I haven't lost it for quite a while, but I can feel it going at the moment. So I'm just trying to do my best. Matt loves it. Well, I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to lose my voice. He's like, oh, good. It means you have to be quiet for a while. So yeah, so it's definitely something I can feel it's going. So I'm just going to grab a drink, but let me know. Does that make sense so far? Do you agree with that? Do you not agree with that? Let me know. I think it's something that it is very personal to your own business, of course. And like I said, it may well be that if you've reached 500 in your business, that could be the point where you feel you're ready for diversification because you've done everything in that list. It's kind of all ticked off. Maybe you outsourced before you even hit the VAT threshold. Like I said, I don't want anyone to think that you have to get to those numbers specifically. It's kind of designed to show you the blueprint, essentially, of the issues that you might face at certain points within your business. So let me jump over. I want to show you something. The guys in the Hive, or formerly ESA, would have seen me using this. So what I want to show you is one of the areas that you can really increase turnover in your business is to build a replenishable part of your business into your business plan. Okay. Nothing will enable you to scale quicker than replenishables. Okay. Now that can be replenishables that are through listings that already exist on Amazon, or opportunities potentially that you can identify and create yourself. So I want to show you something. No one said they understood, so hopefully you did. So I'm just going to move on. I want to share my screen. Yes, I know. Now, hopefully you guys can see this. Fingers crossed you can. So can you guys see this? My trusty Excel spread. I'm not Excel. It's like Google Sheets or something like that. Just let me know that you can see and hear that. See and hear it? Oh my God, I'm going mental. I meant hear me and see that at the same time. Someone's going to have to tell me on the Ecom Facebook group because that's the only comments I can see. So I just quickly jump back. All understood. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate that. Okay, I'm going to assume that you guys can see this because you're all being a bit quiet today. So, what we've got here is a compounding calculator, essentially. So, this is a visual representation of what can happen when you add a strong replenishable facet into your business. So if I wanted to, so this is based on monthly sales, right? So don't think about your arbitrage business, your wholesale business, your reselling business. This is purely on a replenishable model, which can be achieved through creating your own opportunities, like I said, or identifying replenishable products through wholesale or something like that. But it has to have the ability for you to be able to replenish those products. And there's a number of the ways that we teach people how to do that through the Hive, which I'll come on and talk about in a moment. But say, for instance, in your replenishable side of the business, that you wanted to achieve a monthly sales goal of 10,000. You wanted to add an additional 120,000 pounds of turnover into your business over from now for the next 12 months. Then how could you achieve that? Okay, so what you would need to be able to do is you have a look at your average selling price of your replenishables or replenishables if you have them now. Now, we tend to work into a higher, I talk about this, we tend to sell things at the higher end of the spectrum. But overall, you will get an average selling price. Now, if you're doing bundles, more than likely your average selling price is going to be a little bit higher. If you are a wholesale grocery seller, then more than likely your average selling price is going to be the lower end of the spectrum or something like that. But overall, let's say, for instance, the average selling price is 15 pounds that you would look to sell or build these new products in. Sorry, I'm just going to put this on Do Not Disturb. Oh, it is on Do Not Disturb. I don't know why I get messages when they're not on Do Not Disturb. So your average selling price would be £15. The average number of sales that you would make per month would be 30. So essentially, that's one sale a day for the opportunity that you are going to identify, which will be a mixed bag. I'm talking average here, guys. You will have some products that will sell once a day. You will have some products that sell 10 times a day. You will have some products that sell once a month. So you're looking at the overall average, but that's a fair amount to say across most people's inventories that you would look, most of the products would sell on average about once a day. Okay, and then say, for instance, you were looking to find 10 of these new opportunities or identify 10 of these new opportunities and create them per month, okay? You were looking to do that 10 times. Now, this here is the bundle drop-off rate. It is high in terms of this is more towards the experienced end of the market of being a replenishable sellers or creating a replenishable business. But what we generally find out with the opportunities that we create, so I can only talk from my point of view, is that the majority of the time, 80% of the time, the bundles work because we know what we're doing. The less experienced you are, it's probably going to be more like 50% or something like that. Some will work, some won't, through to a number of different reasons, which, I would be on here for another hour if I went into all the different reasons why it may or may not work. But overall, the more you do it, the better you get at it, essentially. So if you identify 10 of these opportunities every single month, you add them into your business and no more than 20% of those potential opportunities drop off. What it's saying is that it's going to take you 3 months of compounding effect of having replenishables in your business to achieve a monthly sales goal of £10,000. So once you've hit that, and providing you keep replenishing those items, even after that 3-month period, if you never create a new opportunity after that, and you can always maintain what you've built at that 80% success rate, then you will automatically add £10,000 of turnover into your business. Now, here's the good thing. with replenishables is they tend to be higher margin as well, especially if you're going to create your own opportunities. So what will happen is I don't tend to look at margin. I always look at the bottom line. No, I don't tend to look at turnover. I always look at the bottom line because I know that anything that we produce through what we sell tends to have a net margin of anywhere between 18 to 20%. That's the golden figure we tend to look at. It tends to be a little bit more than that, to be perfectly honest. So I know if this was me, if I was to follow this process and do exactly this, that I know that I would automatically have an extra 2 grand a month after 3 months, give or take. These are, like I said, average figures. I would be looking to have an extra 2 grand a month profit in my business because I know that my margins work to that because they're slightly higher. If your margins run slightly lower and they're at 10%, then you can look to expect an extra £1,000 within your business. But say, for instance, now I'm after 3 months and I'm starting to get really, really good at this and I want to up the ante. I know this works. It's working for me. I'm building, creating, adding opportunities into my business that I can replenish and compound to a really good level. Well, my next goal is say 25,000 that I want to build that monthly target up to. And now that takes me into adding an extra 300,000 turnover per year into my business. Now, by my calculations, I sound like Doc Brown here, but that takes you into the cycle of cash time where things start getting really comfortable within your business. Things start getting, you start to be able to experience some of the good things and some of the really nice benefits that it comes with running an Amazon business. So we can see here that now producing 10 of these a month doesn't cut it. The calculation doesn't work. So what I need to do is I need to up my production. Okay. So now what I need to do, instead of creating 10 opportunities a month, I'm going to create one a day. Okay. So now I'm going to create 30 of these. And again, it's taken me to another 3 months to be able to add those into my business. But 30 might be a bit months. I was creating 2 a week. Now I've gone to one a day. That's a bit too much. So let's split the difference and go to 20 units that I'm going to increase. So I'm going to double my output. So now what happens is that will take me up to an inventory SKU level of 56 or thereabouts. Okay. Now, this is based on a relatively low average selling price and a relatively low average selling number as well. So, what we're saying here is what will happen is when you are creating your own opportunities in particular. So this is the area of experience. But I speak to people all the time that replenish products through through wholesale. So this really applies to probably more the wholesale and creating your own opportunities market. Then you'd probably be looking at higher sales across a number of these, if you've done the research right and everything like that. So what we're saying is overall, what you could be looking at is achieving 25,000 sales every month after about a 7-month period by only having 56 SKUs within your business, because they're every month they're compounding and you're replenishing. Now, what I will say, this is a guideline. It's easier said than done because one of the hardest things about building a replenishable business is stock management and inventory management. So that's definitely one of the hardest areas to be able to do. But guess what? We've got your back because we have built something that will help manage that to the highest level that I've seen anyone produce for an Amazon specific FBA business. So, this is really going to help with, we've said that even if you just do what B Stock tells you to do, you should see, a natural increase in your business as well, because it's going to help you do what Amazon wants you to do in keeping on top of your inventory and your replenishable system. So does that make sense? Let me know. Can you see the effect of what or the impact of what compounding SKUs can add into your business? Because the great thing about this is you're always constantly adding. It's like that snowball effect. You're always adding. Just let me do not disturb that again. You're always adding stuff into your business, and then you're building upon that foundation. So you're layering on top of it, and it gives you an opportunity to scale in a way that vanilla arbitrage doesn't, essentially, because you're always looking for the next deal. You're always looking for that next opportunity. So I'm going to come back. Let me know if it does, and see you guys again. Compounding, love that word for sure. It is. So the exciting thing is, you guys have known me as someone that can, show people how to do that through creating your own opportunities, unique bundles. But, there's always been a little bit of a caveat, in the sense that they've never really been fully protected. But now, in the Hive, in a few weeks' time, I'm going to be launching with a combination of this business plan that we've gone through. By the way, this isn't the whole business. This is just the guideline to it. I'm going to be putting together a step-by-step process of showing everybody exactly some of those things that may occur in your business, some of those barriers, some of those areas. So it is that kind of step-by-step blueprint that you can follow, that when these decisions come within your business, that it will help keep you on track. It doesn't send you into a downward spiral. If you experience some unforeseen circumstances or different opportunity, it's like a plan that you can follow within your business that can take it to that next level for you. But I'm not just going to do that. I'm not just going to provide that. I'm also going to show you how you can do that by building a really unique, protected, brand driven, um, um, replenishable business, which I can't see that anyone has done before, in terms of showing people how to add this as a part into your business, with a combination of everything else that we already teach in the Hive: wholesale, arbitrage, unique bundles as they stand. And this is utilizing some really big branded opportunities. So it's identifying really fast selling products and being able to use all of the elements that you can add into your business, whilst not being derailed by price tankers and people who are not interested in making money. So if I see the majority of people that are watching here, watching live with us, I can see that, the majority of you are already in the Hive. So I'm super excited to be able to go through and show you that, because I believe this is the best opportunity as it stands on the table. Forget everything else. This is going to be the best opportunity in 2023 for you guys to be able to follow that plan to get on that 7-figure to direct, upward. I was trying to be smart and saying the T word, but it came out wrong. On the 7-figure upward incline, towards, really building that strong, real business that takes you away from the side hustle mentality. So, if you're just joining us now and you haven't, watched or listened to this before, because now we go out on podcasts as well, which is something very exciting. So make sure you listen to the session from a couple of weeks ago. Let me see if I can find it. Just from a couple of weeks ago, this is inadvertently, I didn't realize that was a part 1 and this is a part 2, essentially. Which, let me have a quick look, see if I can find it. I'll tell you which one it is, guys. So if this is the first time that you joined us, or if you've just joined us, then let me go into Never Mind the Buy Box, and I will tell you the exact name of it. And make sure you look on the live section as opposed to the videos. I've had people say, oh, well, there's no videos on there. Well, because we do most of our broadcasts live. But from next week, we are going to be uploading a video every week as well, across, about standard Amazon content. So make sure you subscribe to Never Mind the Buy Box on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button and any likes and notifications, and then you'll always get a notification either when we go live or when we release a video. Okay, so what is it called? It was called How to Build a Long-Term High Margin Ecom Empire in 2023. And what date was that? That was on the 21st of March 2023. Probably has Indy? I've got Indy on the mind. Has Cindy put this there? Yes, I think it's that one. Thank you so much, Cindy. I really struggle to say Cindy's name every night because my daughter's called Indy and I mix it up. And then sometimes I call her Sydney. But you know, it's quite normal. I call lots of people different names. Thank you, Cindy. Much appreciated. Yeah, I think it's that one. So it's build a long-term ecom margin business. So yeah, like I said, it's almost become like that was a part one, and this is a part two to that. So if you haven't joined the Hive already and you would like joining details of that, let me know and I can pop a comment afterwards to tell you a little bit more about that, because the Hive is where we teach all of our additional strategies, high level strategies, in covering areas. You know, we do things like having the Hive Live on Tuesday at 7 o'clock, which we're doing tonight. We're talking about paid advertising tonight. We've also got the bundle course, which is the content is dropping weekly on that as well. Johnny pops up every now and again for a bit of Sunday afternoon sourcing with his dulcet tones. Matt pops up as well, so he joins me on Hive Live as well. So not only is this business plan and the new replenishable option that's going to be coming into force is we're going to be talking about in the next month. Month after that, going to be talking about selling in Europe. So there's always something really cool that is going on in the Hive as well. So it's something that's continually compounding in terms of the area of knowledge that we supply. So if you haven't joined already, please make sure you do. It is paid masterclass, but it's month on month. So, you know, give it a go for a month. If it's not for you, it's not for you. We are not going to hold, we're not going to hold any resentment over that. Try it, see if it's for you. If it's not, then there's no notice period. So Chris says the Hive is a honeypot of knowledge. It is. We do like our bee puns and our honey puns in there. So actually, probably don't join if you are not interested in hearing bad dad jokes, which I do quite often, and so does everyone else. See, here they come. It's buzzing in there. Behave, you lot. Sorry, couldn't help myself. Yeah, it gave us a wealth of bad jokes and puns to be able to say in what we cause, in what we called the Hive and Beast. You wait till B stock comes out, guys. I tell you what, that's going to be a stinger. Ugh. Oh dear, Natalie. Time to go. On that note, right, I think it's time to go. So next week, I'm not actually here next week. I'm away. So I assume it'd be Matt and Johnny. I told them that they're going to be coming on. And then the week after, Jason's going to be joining us. We're going to be talking about all things AI. He's made a huge splash in the world of AI and how to bring that in, but we want to talk about to him from, he's got a really good insight into how it's kind of going in the future and certain things that are going to become pretty commonplace, and it's good to integrate into the world of AI. Even I've adopted it, guys, and I hate change and I'm rubbish at learning new technical things. So it is the future, so it's good to be involved, definitely. So he's going to be joining us in a couple of weeks. So I won't see you next Tuesday, the boys will. But any questions, guys, keep posting in the group. If you're listening via one of our podcasts, then please make sure you join the Ecom Inner Circle Facebook group if you're cool enough to be on Facebook, and also subscribe to the Nevermind the Buy Box channel. If you're watching on Nevermind the Buy Box now, if you can do the usual, please give the video a thumbs up, and if you can comment on the comment section of the video as well, just to see if you've enjoyed it, or even if you just want to tell me to shut up and stop saying bad bee related jokes. It all helps with the YouTube algorithm. So, I'll take it. But yeah, usual drill, guys. Make sure that you give us definitely a thumbs up if you have enjoyed the video, and subscribe and do the notification bell thing. You know me. I'm bad at giving out those instructions. So the boys will be here next week. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, okay. As I said, I'll be checking all my inboxes this afternoon. So I'll take a look at that, definitely. Received loud and clear. That's the way. Ambush me on the live. That's the best way to get me to read your message. So have a great couple of weeks, guys. Keep going. Hopefully everything's still in the green. And I will see you in a couple of weeks. Yeah, closer to May. So see you soon, guys. Take care.